Where the heck am I? Ah, just got to Dyrford. Okay.
Almost consumed by them, I'd say.
Once you've seen a colleague misuse Archimede's capricious hex, you learn an appreciation for details.
This sounds like wizard talk, so I'll just take your word for it.
An elf idles by the road, watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach, and the cowled figure standing near him falls silent.
Hail and well met.
Greetings, friend. A slow smile forms as he eyes you. I've heard of you. Word has it you've been busy in Defiance Bay. He draws closer. I'm busy too, and eager to finish my business and get back to the city. What business is that? Haven't you heard? There's a murderer on the loose, said to have gone mad with grief and strangled a dozen healthy children when her own was hollowborn. He nods at the figures with him. We've come all the way from Defiance Bay to bring her to justice. Well, don't let me stop you. He nods across the river. She's hiding out in the village. We'd go in after her ourselves, but the problem is she knows our faces. There's no telling what she'd do if she saw us coming, and we'd like to avoid any further unnecessary bloodshed. He leans closer. My name's Nifri. She's an Orlin. We want to get her out of town so that we can deal with her cleanly. She knows we're looking for her, but if someone were to convince her that it's safe to leave, I could draw her out. She won't know you. It'll be simple. I have a few questions first. What did Nifri do exactly? She was responsible for the murder of all those babies in Defiance Bay, remember? Terrible thing. But we'll make her pay, alright? Alright, well then I'll get on with my search, because I thought you would say something more interesting that the second time through, but apparently you got nothing. So, first things first, we explore the map. And it looks like this is going to be our shortest route. So just go this way. Behind the church, apparently. That's neat. Golden celery. Ooh, 3 of these. Okay, here we go. Rearnu Halzidri. You see this woman lounging on a large divan. She takes her dates from an ornate glass bowl and stuffs them absent-mindedly into her mouth while she stares out the window. She is unkempt, half-dressed, and occasionally yawns, seemingly bored with her surroundings. Her room shares the same unkempt look as if it hasn't been cleaned in weeks. A layer of dust covers everything. Clothes and partially eaten food litter the floor, and the furniture is in need of upkeep and repair. A knock comes from the door to her chamber, and she lets out a quiet grunt, ignoring it. She grabs another handful of dates and starts throwing them into the air, one at a time, attempting to catch them in her mouth. She frequently misses, the dates bouncing to the floor, forming a makeshift ring around the divan. The knock comes again, and she jumps, missing yet another date, which hits her on the forehead before rolling away. She grunts and looks at the door, exhaling sharply through her nose. A muffled and distant yell comes from somewhere outside the room. Hey, Tuck, what's going on, man? I thought you were playing Fallout. She rolls over on her side, facing away from the door, and pulls a pillow over her head, trying to drown out the noise. She lies there for several minutes, eyes slowly closing as she slips into sleep. The door opens and someone enters the room, hesitantly making his way over the floor to stand by the divan. He reluctantly reaches out and touches her shoulder, shaking it gently. The pillow falls from her head, and she turns to the man, a confrontational look on her face. Mistress, he says, kneeling before her, we need your help. The woman sighs heavily, rolling her eyes, and starts to stand. She grabs one last handful of dates and walks from the room, chewing noisily. I am, and now I'm watching you while I play. I appreciate that, man. I am so close to affiliate, it hurts. So thank you for taking the time. How is Fallout 3 going? Ardavan Selwintus. As you near, yep, same as always, you see a fallen log lying on the moss-covered ground. The surrounding woods are quiet, everything calm and undisturbed. A small bird lands on one end of the log, warming itself in the sun. This man emerges from the trees, moving quickly, but not quite running. He places each foot with a deliberate precision, making almost no noise. He jumps, landing on the log, and runs along its length. Only when he reaches the end does the bird take flight, startled, as if it didn't realize he was there. He jumps down from the log, landing next to a tree with a small branch jutting out from it just above waist level. He grabs the branch and pulls himself forward, giving him a short-lived burst of speed. He is coming to the edge of the forest, and buildings can now be seen through the trees. Sounds of life make their way through the air and to his ears. He leans forward, running to push his way through the tree line and onto the road beyond. He pulls himself up short and looks around, breathing heavily from the exertion. He doesn't seem to find what he's looking for, and takes a place leaning on a nearby building. Several minutes pass and he smiles, pushing himself off the wall and walking out to meet a figure running up the road, breathing heavily and shaking his head. He informs the figure that he's going to have to try harder if there's any chance of beating him. He puts an arm around the other man's shoulder, reminds him that there was an ale at stake, and says it's about time to pay up. It's like riding... Let's get it done. Yes, dude, please. It's like riding a bike. You can pick it up and go like you never put it down, but it's so damn good. Oh, it really is, man. I was having a lot of fun playing that. I wish there was mods for it, though. It's so very colorless. That's my biggest complaint. Excuse you. Nah, hear me. What kind of build are you doing? Or, not build, I mean, I guess the builds are pretty much all the same. But what kind of character are you playing? Vasily Raskolnikov. The green and grays are part of its charm. Yeah, that's one way of looking at it. You see a Zarup gurgle gently as it falls to the ground, the victim of a small blade to the throat. A tall man in dark armor wipes the blade clean on his cloak before padding onwards, towards the next guard. Another flash and the second Zarup is down, and the next, and the next. Finally, a scout spots him and raises a shout. Between one step and another, the man smoothly deposits the knife in his boot, and draws 2 longswords, decapitating the closest Zarup in the process. He makes no sound but the sleek whistle of his blades as they pass through monster after monster, before one lodges in the skull of one particularly hard-headed specimen. Unable to break it free, he discards his other sword, and reaches for his spellbook. A cone of flames erupts from his hand, boiling the skin from 3 agonized Zarups nearby, and causing the remaining to scatter. The earth shakes, and spikes of rock begin to pierce the surface of a nearby Zarup high priest. It attacks a moment too late. The bespelled man moves unnaturally quickly from ground to ground, attacking the remaining Zarups with sword and spell. Sweat burns his eyes as he conjures an enormous ball of fire, sending it screaming through the air towards the high priest and her remaining followers. Nothing but charred corpses remain after it passes. He falls to his knees panting, almost 80 Zarups fallen around him. Jeez. Just as he moves to get up, the ground begins to shake once more. Twice. 3 times. Huge footsteps, and then he dives behind a rock spike, a returning volley of fire singeing his cloak. The Drake has noticed him. I'm a hero of the wasteland this time, playing as Merlin, so a good scientist, intelligent, precise killer. That, like Merlin the Wizard, right? Just want to clarify that. Or did you mean Merlin your cat? Because both of those are great choices. Well, got the name from the cat and just decided to make it my playthrough too. Alright, cool. I dig it, man. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. You should stream it so I can watch the VODs. Talk to Badmar. No one trusts me with anything more than lighting candles. Fair. Flames dance amidst scattered offerings. Keys, coins, and the tiny skulls of birds and mice are mired in the melted and hardened wax.
Out with you!
Harbinger Baedmar.
Sorry. I thought you were one of those ruffians.
I didn't even realize he was talking. Old man turns as you enter, his face covered in bruises and his lower lip is swollen. He stops and peers at you, squinting through a black eye. Adir grunts in disgust. These times we live in.
How may I help you?
He gives you something between a smile and a wince. What happened to you?
I never saw their faces. Strange hooded men asking about those ruins.
Trying to get up?
Cleoban Relag.
Okay.
Most of the
Quit whining.
Ruins who come through here asking about the ruins are looking for a few ancient trinkets. But these people knew the name, and they were in a hurry.
I don't know how to get any of the streaming up and whatnot. I mean, on the Xbox is quick. You don't need to connect a camera or anything. You just, I think it might even already be integrated as long as you download the Twitch app and plug in your profile stuff and hit go live. I think that was the gist of it.
They wanted to know where Cleoban Relag was. I tried to keep it from them, but I couldn't hold out forever. I don't know what they were up to, but it can't be good.
He limps away from the window, shaking his head. Aloth looks at you frowning. That does sound like the leaden key, doesn't it? The old priest nods politely. Is there something else I can help you with? Tell me more about Dyrford. Folk here tend to keep to themselves, as they do in most towns this deep in the Dyrwood. They're suspicious of travelers, but with all the brigands and refugees moving through the area, who can blame them? So this is a temple of Bereth. What can you tell me about Bereth? Bereth is the most universal of all the gods. It oversees portals, and cycles of all kinds, even life and death itself. Under Bereth, an ending is merely a passage to another beginning. Bereth has many representations across time and across cultures. Around the Dyrwood, you'll commonly see it depicted as the Pallid Knight, or the Usher. The Glanfithans, however, know it as there's a pronunciation there. Boinen? I think it's Boinen. Boinen I Anque, and Anque I Buenen. I know I'm butchering that pronunciation, but the W is supposed to be a U, so it's Anque. Anquo? Anque? Buonen and Buonen I Anque. That's what I'm saying for now. It's probably wrong. Who's the Usher? Kith have written stories, songs, and poems about the Usher for centuries. Sometimes he's folk, sometimes dwarf, and sometimes merely a walking skeleton. He never speaks, but he guides the way to death and the next life. He also creates the circumstances for the wayward to stumble into their own graves. I have heard of them because I read the book. I don't remember the Pallid Knight, though. She's one of the youngest manifestations of Bereth, but a familiar one nonetheless. Stories describe her as a gaunt knight in black armor with black eyes, black hair, and milk-pale skin. She demands an impossible toll from travelers who have tarried too long on her lord's road. Some challenge her, only to slay themselves in the process. Well, thank you for the information. Of course, Bereth was once more widely worshipped in this area, but it is a silent god. He smiles sadly. These days, people find themselves in need of clearer answers. By the way, can you tell me where to find the ruins?
Father tribe that guards the ruins will kill anyone who trespasses there. And they'll retaliate against us, too, if history is any indication. We've had too many fortune seekers stir up trouble of late. If I'm to tell you, I'll need to know your reason for wanting to go.
Maybe I'll look into it next time. You should. I'd love to freaking watch you play, man. Lord knows I probably won't be spending much time on that game until, probably at least until this one's done, or maybe until I hit affiliate. I'm not going to lie to him. A dangerous plot is unfolding there, and I've got to stop it.
If that's the case, then we may already have trouble headed our way. I'll have to take you at your word. You'll find Cleoban Relag here. Whatever trouble you find there, please end it quietly and try to stay out of the ruins.
Thank you and farewell. That it? Interesting. Come on, pup. Lay down. Alright, I guess now I can cross the river. Oh, word, traveler. I only require a moment.
Do.
The guard sighs with relief as he looks at you. What are the odds, stuck in this backwater only to meet the famed champion of Defiance Bay? Bareth's wheel brings mercy today indeed. His demeanor grows serious. Perhaps you could help. I don't suppose you saw a young elven noblewoman on the road. I'm stuck in this wretched place with the rest of my unit until we find her. Who is she? Lady Alis. He bites his lip. She's the daughter of Lord Nestor Herond, and she's gone missing. He sighs. Perhaps you could go speak with Lord Herond at the inn. He'll be grateful for the assistance, and it could be the villagers will open up to you more than they have to us. Would you settle down? I don't know why you're whining. You good? You gonna chill? Wanna play with your bone? Here. I'm just gonna put it right on top of you. You can figure out what to do with it from there. Let's check out the mill. Yeah, I've been to Defiance Bay.
Worth a look.
Thanks for that. Just gonna steal your grain, don't worry about it. The mill slowly grinds away at a trough of grain. Nice. Stealing all their foodstuffs. Oh, I still gotta take a rest at the end too before I get too crazy over here.
Look.
Ripple sponge and another grappling hook? My goodness. No whining. Alright, that's Dyrford Crossing. This middle-aged peasant woman is dressed in a brown leather cloth draped down to her knees. Her hands are working at separating stringy, colorless vegetables in a pile before her, stripping the heads off the long fibrous stems with a paring knife. She discards the stems one by one, placing the heads of the vegetables into a small cradle-like basket in front of her. She doesn't greet you as you approach. You're not even sure she knows you're there. Excuse me. The woman doesn't respond. She keeps stripping the heads from the vegetables with a steady rhythm. She may be deaf. There's no indication she heard you. I'm going to study her a minute. At first glance, she seems nothing more than a middle-aged woman. Unremarkable, maybe less stern than most, who seems more focused on the weaving in her lap than her surroundings. Yet you suddenly notice she's not stripping the vegetables before her any longer. She's weaving, and the vegetable pots are now missing. She still pays you no mind, her brown locks torn and snagged from lack of washing, like many of the townsfolk you've seen. There's a strange blur to her, Even the motion of her hands seems to be playing with threads that lack color, in a shape that lacks interest. It may be that she is half-minded, or deaf, but something feels wrong. As you watch, her knitting takes on an odd cadence, and you have a terrible suspicion that something lurks beneath what your eyes are showing you. Let's try to focus on her. Her brown hair is long, almost impossibly to the length of her hands. As you follow the streams of her locks downwards, the hairs become long and black, splitting off into threads of black and silver, and wrapping around her hands. She is forming a soul cradle with the threads, braiding a net in front of you, each finger long and sharp like a series of knitting needles, almost hypnotic. The silver and black strands of her hair weave together, with silver predominating as a highlight, the black shadowing it. And suddenly, you are calm. You are on a plateau, almost the height of a tower, several stories high. The plateau is like a table lying beneath a clear sky, and beneath the plateau, surrounding it in all directions, a forest hazy with mist, although whether it is actual mist, or distance, or a recollection. Resting in the curve of a natural arch above you is a great copper bell, half again the size of a man, hanging at attention, as if looking down on you and the event unfolding before you. The plateau has soaked in the sun, and the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied, but you feel your body. Your physical contours have changed along with the surroundings, and you hear a soft series of chimes, like wind chimes. At the sound, the scene gains color and texture, as if the sound is beckoning you gently forth, filling your senses and thoughts, like mist roiling softly into a sealed chamber. And the chime coaxes you deeper into the memory. And you're certain it is a memory, a warm one. You are on the stone of the plateau, your knees in the warm texture of the ground, silver, white, shimmering, like Audra? The plateau is formed of it, glistening in the sun. You can feel the heat on your skin, your wrists, and your hands. Your hands are in motion, weaving, not thread, but gathering, tenderly moving along the first movements of Bareth's wheel. Your hands are wet, your hands are upon the flesh of a newborn child, and you can feel the crowning of a tiny head, turning in your grip, its head slick, wet from the womb. The hands you are wearing and inhabiting have done this many times, and they are practiced and confident. You can feel distant planes in your own head as the head emerges, a stream of fluid from the womb, helping the newborn slide forth, and a woman's labored breathing crying out. As your hands move, you hear the sound of chimes, clear, cutting through the haze of memory. You cannot see where they are coming from, but they are close, and they are meant as a comfort. Of that you are certain. And coaxed by your hands, every movement causing the chimes to sound again, almost eagerly the child comes forth, and as it does, your hands are in motion, weaving, moving along the length of a soft, wet rope. No, an umbilical cord, from the legs of the naked woman before you. You are holding a small child, still wet from the womb. Before you, the child cries out, its cry full of life, full of soul, the ringing of chimes echoing in its thoughts, filling it with its welcome. The soul is blurred at the edges, as if you are viewing a soul from within a soul, but it is there. It is alive. The woman before you is weeping, and at her first cry, her hands reach out for it. You surrender the child to her, something you have done many times before, and as your hands move, the chimes echo the movement, and you realize the chimes are hanging from cords on your wrists, and where once they echoed in the memory, they are now echoing in the child's mind as well. The chimes are intended to welcome the child, to be its first gentle greeting into the world, a soothing sound guided by the tender motions of your wrists. You are helping to weave its thoughts, its perceptions, and the experience. The experience. The woman laughs with a ragged joy, laughing from a parched throat. Her emotions seem soothed, but the physical demands of labor have left her exhausted. But the child is here. The child is safe. And all atop the plateau is peaceful, calm, distant, flattening out as the memory persists. With effort, the scene bleeds of color, and your mind becomes your own again. There is no pull, no anchor, yet the sound of the chimes remains, as they existed in the memory. They sound here as well, and they are hanging from woven braids on the wrists of the woman before you. Even as your head is spinning from the touch of her mind, the sound of the chimes on her wrists is sharp and clear, as if coaxing you back to the real world. The woman still sits before you, but she is nothing like what you first saw. She is wearing black, shredded garments that drape over her, form like streamers. Her hair is streaks of black and run through with silver. Her age is almost impossible to tell. She simply feels old, like a crumbled watchtower. As she lifts her head to face you, you see that her hair is draped across the front of her face like a veil. What you first saw of her was a mental glamour of some sort, unconscious, and you realize that what you see now is not what the world sees, and you are perhaps the first to see her true self. Still, you don't sense a threat in the realization. If anything, you feel a sense of relief from the figure. You can hear her thoughts, and she is glad to at last be seen. What was that?
I am seen, but the eyes of others do not remember. You were the first to see me as I am, the call stripped aside.
There is a light touch on your mind, a caress, and her left hand mirrors the motion of the touch, reaching up to the air between you. You hear the chime on her wrist sound. Softly, her hand moves as if pantomiming, resting on your cheek at a distance, and she speaks softly and slowly.
Your memories. Cadence of wheels on a caravan track. Fever. Questions by running water. Violence in a night's campfire. Arrows in the dark. And fleeing. Falling rock and cracking stone. And a storm. The storm.
She stops, her hand frozen in the air.
The storm that brushed you. Did its screaming wake you from your mind's cradle? Your memory of it is painful. Its cry is difficult to ignore. It's like a child. Many children crying out.
I did encounter a Biawak, yes, and it did something to me. Her hand withdraws shyly, the chime sounding softly once again. The woman stands uncertainly, as if she had been sitting for some time, or is too weak to bear her own weight. You notice her cheekbones are tight, her face gaunt. Yet while her stance is weak, she seems determined to stand before you.
You are able to see me.
It is almost a question. You suddenly realize she doesn't seem to know what you saw when you looked at her. The image on the plateau. Yet the image was so clear, so sharp. You're surprised she didn't feel you there.
See me as a rare gift. A watcher's gift.
I've never been able to do that with a living person, except with you.
So many questions, thoughts, whirling like storm winds. That storm still roars through you, deep beneath your thoughts, yet muted and secret, like an underground river. I cannot tell if it is carving new channels, or eroding what keeps your true strength buried. The fact that you could hear it at all, survive it, is something few have ever done. Your power will grow stronger with each soul you touch, as it allowed you to reach out to mine.
There is a silence, and although it seems to last for but a heartbeat, in your thoughts it stretches out between the two of you, like a pull between your minds. You blink, take a breath, and then you realize she wants to ask you a question, yet can't form the words, as if assembling them is painful, or there are simply not enough pieces. Do you wish to travel with me? You feel a wave of fear, gusted with the strength of relief, although oddly her expression does not change. Then fear dissipates, and you feel strength and certainty, as if the plateau from her memory lies beneath you, and a calm sky looks down upon you. What the hell is she? She's a cipher. Holy hell, that was insane. I like her a lot. I almost want to put her in my party. But I need to wait until I get back to camp in case she sucks. Sagani's just too good with as a damage dealer. That was cool, though. That was one of my favorite parts in this game so far. That whole introduction was wild. Alright, now that I've done the outskirts, let's start making our way into the actual buildings. Hero. You see a man stumble, unfamiliar vestments tripping him. He pushes himself to his feet, unsteady, and continues along the empty road. His lips are chapped and dry, skin glazed with dust, but something about the set of his jaw tells you he has far yet to walk. As night stains the sky, he stops, whispering a fire into existence with the help of some wood. He attempts to sleep, staring into the stars. He continues in this fashion for several days, only occasionally drinking water from a goatskin as he moves. It takes him days to reach the temple, and when he does, his knees falter and give way, crashing him to the ground. The monks take him in, and he shares his tidings, meaningless to anyone but them. And when he is recovered, he begins anew, his stride strengthened with food and rest, mind clear with meditation and purpose, and yet a long way to walk. Dayton McLean. Oops. You see this man in the middle of the forest, back against the tree. His head is turned and he strains to hear something. He turns his head the other direction and slowly slides down the tree, ending in a crouch. He cautiously moves forward, keeping to the shadows. His steps are silent as he gingerly places his feet between twigs and leaves. A grunting noise echoes throughout the quiet morning, and shuffling footsteps rustle as they approach him. He cranes his head around the trunk of the tree and spies his target. He edges his way around the tree, keeping it between him and his quarry. The shuffling comes closer, the grunting now accompanied by a wet snuffle. Bracing himself against the tree, he holds his position, waiting. Then with almost supernatural grace, he pushes himself from the tree and swings around to the right, practically running along its trunk, floating as he moves. He lands in front of the boar, rooting its way around the clearing, his knife flicking lightning quick across its neck. Before the startled animal can even react, he leaps onto his back, squeezing his knees into its sides and gripping the hair at the back of its neck. The beast starts to buck and tries to run from its attacker, but the man merely holds on and waits for the inevitable, enjoying the thrill of a hard-earned feast, thinking about what herbs would bring out the boar's natural flavors best. In seconds the struggle is over, and the thrill is gone, replaced by the same dull craving that brought him here in the first place. It has left him faster even than the last time, and already he thinks about how he might top it.
The smell around here reminds me of this stable hand, Drutman. Not real popular with the women, Drutman.
He smells horrible? That's hilarious. Their speed and alertness make antelope challenging game for even experienced hunters, and their hides are valued for both decorative and practical purposes. Hides provide the leather used to create durable armor, while the spiraling horns of the oldest specimens are among the most prized of hunting trophies. Treegill's Curriery? Okay. How far along are you in Fallout 3? You just starting out tonight, or? Dyes fill the wooden vats. They smell of dung and plant matter. Courier's key. The key is strained by the dye in which you found it. Shh. Saban, I'm not one for chit-chat, Orlin. Speak to Trigil if you've got any questions. Trigil. Oop. Stay out of my private quarters. That goes for you and Heron's bootlickers. I didn't even, like, know what I was approaching, dude.
Does it?
Yeah, I'm way too close. Okay. Well, do you have anything to say to me?
Good day, stranger.
Trigil, a sturdy, broad-shouldered man, wipes his hands on his slacks. He reeks of the same foul compound wafting from the vats, and his arms are stained with dye. You looking to purchase some leather? Have you seen Nefri and Orlin from Defiance Bay? I make it a point to keep out of other people's business. He wipes a splotch of dye from his elbow with his shirt tail. Something else you need. Tell me what's in the collapsed tower there. It's collapsed. Nothing. He rolls his eyes and shrugs. A few hides on stretching racks and the tallow stench Dangler's always grumbling about. The rest of the keep's dust, just like the fool Lady Thanu who tried to hold it. There's a bard at the inn who'll tell you the whole blazing story if you want to hear it. Alright, show me what you got. Girdle of Mortal Protection. Ooh. Often purchased by soldiers with the means, these belts are laden with charms granting protection to the wearer. For a simple band of dark leather, this particular girdle provides a defense against killing blows, turning a blade aside at the final moment, or else cushioning a strike from a blunt object. I like that. Buying it. Hello, regeneration. This belt has been crafted from the mossy hide of a forest troll, with intertwined vines and leaves forming a solid and resistant piece of clothing. Any damage done to the belt tends to be obscured by new growth, for the moss and small plants which grow upon the belt retain some life. Though the resulting effect is somewhat like wearing an herb garden around one's waist, the piece of hide holds some of the troll's power, granting the wearer the creature's ability to recover from wounds. I'll buy that as well. Thank you, sir, for all of your fun things. Aloth, what do you got for a belt? Because I'm thinking of giving you the lacking. Maybe you, though. Nah. Dexterity. I'll keep that. Oof. Honestly, maybe. Yeah. I guess that works. I'm a level 60. Holy crap, dude. You really are. How far have you been, long have you been playing? I'm currently helping the residents of Big Town already? Goddamn, I thought you were playing,
So they say.
Well, that's lucky. Where I'm from, we see a feathered lady, we start worrying maybe her dad got frisky with his hens.
I guess you can always trust a farm boy's head to go there first.
I can't remember the name of the game that you were playing. I know the game. Cyberpunk. Goodness. You beat that already? And all the DLC?
Good day, stranger.
Hendina. Oh, I beat that last week. Oh, geez. Okay. Fair enough. A young woman leans against a wagon. One arm and one side of her face are covered in bandages, with raw, rippled flesh showing underneath. A minty, tangy scent wafts from her dressing. She smiles painfully. Just ventured into town. I'm about to dry on some of my stocks. And you're welcome to have a look-see. Why are your stocks limited? It's the damn roads. She looks you up and down. I reckon you've had the same problem, and you wouldn't bother with a middle-of-nowhere place like this. Can't reach none of my suppliers, so I'm stuck with whatever I can scrounge up in the wood. Deercap, river reed, and the like. That's well and good, but most potions require something stronger too. Troll skin, vessel bone, what have you. And then there's the really rare ingredients, things you'd never be able to afford, let alone find on your own. What did you find? And Dina winces as the rest of the story comes tumbling out of her. I've been keeping an eye on the Drake's Nest east of town at Dyrford Crossing. The beast stayed just long enough to lay a clutch and moved on. Thank the Sky Mother it wasn't a full-grown dragon. She looks at her bandaged arm and grimaces. Fresh eggs are much more useful than the ones that get passed between merchants, or left in nests for weeks or more, and that clutch looked to be at its peak. Thought I'd see about getting an egg, and I didn't realize so many of them had already hatched, or that young worms were so territorial. I could try to get an egg for you. She keeps her gaze steady, and you see hope kindling in her eyes, and twitching at the corners of her mouth. I sure hope you're not leading me on. I don't think I could stand getting burned again. She bites her lip. If you really mean to go after it, I'd certainly pay you. Just remember, big as they are, dragon eggs are fragile, and there's a lot more I can do with a whole one.
Well met, friend.
She adjusts one of her bandages. Anything else I can do for you? I've got some handy ointments if you're braving the roads anytime soon. So if you started this a week ago, I can't believe how quick that game feels. Like, I remember it being so much longer. Level 16. Gosh damn. By the way, I'm looking for an Orlin named Nefri. I did see an Orlin lady headed into the Dracogen. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Just the other day. She points across the road at a large building. Don't know what her name was, but she was acting real sneaky-like. How about you show me your wares? She steps aside. Sure thing. The shelves of her cart contain jars, vials, and bundled paper packets. Just a bunch of ingredients. Not even good ones. There's potions, though. To be fair, I am playing on easy like all my games, so that means nothing. It also helps that I've played it a million times and know where to go and what to do. Yeah, that is fair, actually. Are you, like, reading through everything or just kind of skipping through to your favorite content? A ledger lies open on the desk. It lists purchase and sale amounts for various alchemical ingredients and concoctions. How am I supposed to rob this house with this guy standing here? Willie? You see a modestly furnished house, worn from the cooking fire lit at its far end. This man is sitting in a high-backed chair looking at a large book with a small boy in his lap. He smiles and asks the child about the pictures on the pages as he points to different parts of them. He looks up as a woman approaches to stir something in the pot hanging over the fire. She adds some carrots to the pot, mixes them in, then stands and turns to the man. She says something to him and leans in to give him a kiss when a knock comes at the door. The man makes to stand and the woman motions for him to stay. She walks to the door and glances out the window. It is already too dark outside for anything to be seen. She lifts the bolt on the door and pulls it open, revealing a tall, lanky man with a strange smile on his face. There is a wet, tearing sound, and the woman makes a weak groan, collapsing to the floor, blood quickly pooling around her. The man in the chair leaps to his feet, grabbing his son, interposing himself between the boy and the man at the door, who steps over the body and enters the house. Galark vowed you would feel his pain, the man says conversationally, as 4 other men enter the house behind him. It appears your rent has come due. Man. It's messed up.
I shall be discreet. Steady does it.
Oh, I know what to do here, I think. No, I'm going through everything as I get to it. Jeez, still that... Man. You know a lot about that game. In combat only. Okay, fair enough. So I don't know what to do here. How to steal these items without getting into a fight with that dude. Hopefully it's nothing important. Are you gonna try,
Durance, do you take anything seriously?
Excuse me.
Or is the entire world just a setup for your idiotic punchlines?
The world is the punchline, Birdwoman. In all its weakness. Would you kill the messenger?
If he were as annoying as you, I'd consider it.
Are you gonna try New Vegas once you're done with this one? Winfrith's Arms and Armory.
Nice and quiet.
Little pigs. Rumbald. A man paces angrily in front of a wrecked animal pen, his sun-weathered face twisted with ire. He's so wrapped up in his fury that he doesn't seem to notice you. Gallowayne's slobbering beasts, blazing bloody effigy, thrice-damned salty wench and her soggy... what's wrong, buddy? That monster stole my pigs, traipsed into the village, tore down my pen, and made off with the whole damned herd. Just left a few little runts, and what am I supposed to do with them? Calm down, just chill, tell me what happened. He bites his lip and closes his eyes. His nostrils flare with each quick, angry breath. Wife's always telling me to mind my temper. Just breathe deep and count to 10. An ogre moved into the area not long ago. Folk had been seeing glimpses and tracks out in the wood, but it seemed to be staying away from town. Or so we all thought until it made off with my pigs. Now everyone's afraid it's going to develop a taste for kith, if it hasn't already. Did you see this ogre take your pigs? What else would have destroyed my pen and made off with my herd? And at the same time, the rest of the village is seeing a 10-foot monster in the forest. I know it's too late to get my pigs back, but it set my mind at ease to see that thing's head shorn from its neck. In fact, you bring its ugly pat to me, and I'll trade you something that's of less use to a farmer like me than to a rowdy-looking sort like yourself. What can you tell me about the ogre? It's the same as any other, I'm sure. Big, ugly son of a bitch with a nasty temper and an appetite to match. Tregill could tell you more. He claims to have seen it in the wood. You can find him in his shop right by the broken tower. Need something else? Biggie, 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 biggie. That's a little tiny one. Okie dokie. Will you check out Deadfire after completing this first game? I fully plan to, yes, that is the goal. I'm curious to see the differences in the two. I bought all the DLC in the base game because they were having a big sale on them all. Got everything for NV for like 12 bucks. Well, that's not too bad at all, damn. I mean, that game's just about as the same size as 3. You know, same amount of content, so it's definitely worth 12 bucks. I mean, I think it's worth a hell of a lot more than that. Yeah, the plan is to play, finish this one obviously first, and then eventually I want to play the second one. I want to go back in and play Pathfinder. I want to play the second Pathfinder because I haven't played that. And then Divinity as well at some point. Reveille Larine. You see a forest clearing, fog curling through the weeds and the ground in the cold morning air. The serenity of the scene is occasionally broken by a faint noise that echoes throughout the silence. This woman emerges from the trees and stops, dropping to the ground. She creeps to the edge of the clearing and crouches near a tree. She glances around furtively, listening intently in the growing light. She presses her back to the tree, tensing against it, ready to spring forward. From the distance comes another sound, a rustling in the undergrowth. At that, she shoots forward, keeping as low to the ground as she can. She puts a hand to her throat and makes a sound, a shrill bird call. But what emerges from her mouth seems to emanate from yards away. From behind her, near the source of the rustling, there is a brief grunting noise that is quickly silenced. She dives into a large bush at the edge of the tree line, keeping her head down and wriggling it silently through the leaves and twigs. She takes a position in the bushes, turning to face the direction she came. She raises her hand again, this time mimicking a Stelgare, placing the roar directly behind the men failing to sneak up on her. More than one voice answers this call, all of them sounding panicked and hurried, all of them quickly moving this way, all thoughts of stealth forgotten. She backs out from under the bush to crouch behind it. As she pulls her bow from her back, she takes a shooting stance and waits for her hunters to appear. That was an interesting one, too.
Be constant.
Winfrith. Yeah, that one will take me longer since I never made it far the one time I tried it. I know, but I think by the time, if you can make it into the city itself, you'll be hooked. That's my assumption, anyway. Because I know that first little area with, not the intro town. The intro town is fine. I have no problems there, but the robot sheriff area is like kind of meh, but if you can get past that and get into the city, it really opens up and becomes, Fallout again. They're coming out with a new game soon, set in the same universe, but first person, I believe. You talking about for Pillars of Eternity? A first person game? Huh. I don't know how I feel about that. A portly, smiling man stands behind a warped wooden counter, polishing a buckler. He looks up. Haven't seen you before. Always glad to see a new face in town. Company's good for business and chatter's good for the soul. That's what I always say. Anyway, what can I do for you? What's been going on here in town? Oh, we're a quiet little town. Not much happens here. Especially not since the legacy hit. People realized they couldn't have babies and just stopped trying altogether. And that takes a lot of the excitement out of the day-to-day, if you can believe it. This guy's just saying that all there is to do here is bang, and no one's doing that. Show me what you have for sale, man. Tall grass. Excellent. That actually is excellent. Holy crap. Why are pole arms always so good? Oh, that's so damn good. I can't afford it. I don't even know why I'm looking. But wow. Actually, the one that she has is slightly better. Arguably. I like the prone on crit. Yeah, I do look forward to giving it another go. Yeah. I look forward to watching your stream about Fallout 3. Grudge Keeper. Not really worth the money. Alright, so he's got a lot of cool, unique weapons, but none that I'm really gonna want to stick to. Oh, never mind. Concentration -5. Ugh. Although... does he really need concentration? It's not that good damage-wise. Angio's Gambison. That's okay. Zealous command. Zealous aura. That might be good for her. Is that any zealous aura? Chanter. Cool. Alright, I need to look at that, because I might buy that for her. Is that, That's the wrong person. You. Yeah, I think it might be. Alright, let's buy that then. I don't think she has any other boots anyways. She does not, so cool. Alright, I've checked out the mill. Oh, I'm stuck on a signpost. Steal your veggies. Suppose it's time to check out the mill? Or the inn? But first I kind of want to check this out again. Because he said to speak to him. He wipes a splotch of dye from his elbow with his shirt tail. Something else you need. Rumbald mentioned something about an ogre. Oh, he's hardly talked about anything else since those pigs of his went missing. The whole town's been worried about that monster. People are starting to see shapes in their windows at night, hearing its growl and the snoring of their mates. It would put a lot of minds at ease if someone got rid of it. He scrapes at red pigment under his fingernails. I sometimes venture into the wilderness, collecting ingredients for my dyes, mind you. I've seen tracks east of here, near the river. That couldn't have been anything else. Alright, appreciate you, man. Here I was thinking that you were, like, keeping the pigs locked up or something. With how angry you were about me going near your door. I'm still thinking that might be a possibility, honestly. Alright, now let's hit the inn. The table has been scarred and stained from decades of use.
Surely even you can understand that.
We're
All right.
decent folk.
Take a breath.
Lord, perhaps you should leave and check the wilds.
The portrait depicts a man and a woman dressed in a Dira garb that would have been in style a century ago. The heavy frame has been battered, and the plate that once bore the patron's name has been scratched out. They share a passionate embrace which seems at odds with the disgust on their faces. Interesting. Nanioki Faral. You see this woman running through the streets of a small city. She pushes her way through the crowd, glancing over her shoulder as she does. Her clothing is torn and her hair disheveled. Even though she appears to be attempting to escape from someone, her eyes sparkle with joy. Her mouth is pulled back in an enormous grin, and occasionally a small giggle works its way out of her throat. While looking over her shoulder, she runs headlong into a well-dressed man standing at one of the market stalls. The moment she sees the man she's run into, her face changes. Gone is the glee, replaced by fear. Her grin twists into a frown, her bottom lip quivering. The man, seeing her appearance, expresses concern for her well-being, and she leans against him, weaving a tale of a brutish man with wandering hands. As she speaks, her own hands travel over his body, seeking and exploring. There is a shout from across the crowd, and they both look over to see a large, angry man approaching, roughly pushing his way through the crowd that separates them. She stiffens against him, feigning fear. The man tells her not to be afraid, and steps in front of her to block the path of the figure who is coming nearer. The woman smiles, slowly backing away from them both, then lets out a gleeful cackle. Her protector turns, confused, and sees her departing, laughing and shaking a coin purse. She spins and races off through the crowded marketplace. Confused, the man feels at his belt. His face hardens and he yells, joining the chase after the laughing woman, losing herself in the crowd. That was tricky.
Good day to you.
Sid. A redhead stands by the fire, tuning her lute and plucking its strings. She hums snatches of a melody as she goes. First time at the Dracagen. I want to say Dracagen. I'm going to say Dracagen. Dracagen. Normally I'd have a song ready, but I haven't quite worked out this tune yet. I'm writing some chants about the founding of this inn. Say, you interested in the story? I haven't finished the chants, but I could tell you about it all the same. Sure, let's have it. Pelagina rolls her golden eyes and exhales for an excessively long time through her nose. It was built in the time of Hadrian's rebellion, and Adiran lady Thanu had once had a keep here. One of the towers still stands, but the rest is said to be buried under the village. Anyway, she stuck to the side of the empire, and a contingent of Duke Hadrian's knights of the Crucible helped the farmers and colonists in the area turn her keep to rubble. This inn was the first building that sprang up from the ruin. Built with some of the same bricks the colonists had pulled from the Lady Thanu's castle, they say. Supposedly, the quarterstaff of her chief wizard even got lost in the construction, mortared into a wall or nailed under a floorboard. Anyway, the inn was supposed to be a haven and a meeting place while the locals built their new town. What's a Lady Thanu? A Thane or Thanu is a man or woman who's part of the military elite. A knight, if you will. Typically the position is inherited. A Lord Thane or Lady Thanu owns land and also commands several unlanded Thanes. The woman who last held the keep here came from a long line of landed Thanes. Ah, what did you mean supposed to be? Deerwoodens are an ornery lot, and the more these new neighbors met, the more they argued. They realized they didn't agree on much besides ousting the old lord. The biggest divide was over the Glanfithans and their nearby ruins. Hadrian's knights and their supporters wanted to keep the peace, but a group of misfits with more anarchic leanings that had formed in town wanted to go after the tribes the same way they'd gone after their lord. Soon the villagers were fighting with each other as much as the Adirans. In the end, memories of the Broken Stone War and the War of Black Trees were fresh enough that the Duke's soldiers won the day. Most of the other villagers came around eventually, but some of the core troublemakers left to join the front lines of the War of Defiance, and others, I've heard, found their way into the Guided Compass, the most forward-looking of the Glanfithan tribes. I don't know if I believe that part myself, but it makes for a good story. She points to the east wall. There's a portrait of one of the chief rabble-rousers and his rival in the peacekeeping faction. Someone's idea of a joke. I don't think they were particularly amused. I've already heard about that and that, so I think I'm good. Cheers. Thank you. Oop, you're named. Yorn. Hey, I remember this guy. Why, it's you! Thank you, friend. You've given me another chance, and I mean to make the most of it. I've been telling everyone around here about how you helped me. Well, cool. Thanks, man.
Good day, stranger.
Dingler. The innkeeper digs inside a mug with a dirty rag. His eyes under his thick brows are tired but watchful. He gives you a quick nod as you approach the bar. Don't see many travelers these days. Something I can do for you. What was your exchange with that nobleman about? He looks up from polishing his tankard and glowers at the lord. Folk around here's decent. They mind their own business. You want to stick your nose in it? Go talk to him yourself. That's fair. I have questions about the town, though. He runs his rag around the rim of the mug. Ask. Have you seen an Orlin called Nifre? I'll take it you're a friend of hers. He jerks his head at the stairs. Twitchy lady, that one. Alright, cool. Tell me about the village. Walk from one bridge to the next and you've seen it. We're quiet, hard-working folk. We keep to ourselves and don't take to being pushed around. He glares at the well-dressed man standing off to the side. Used to be a castle here, built by some family of Adiran Thanes back when the Empire first came. Only one tower is still standing, and that's part of Treegill's shop now. Sid, that bard by the fire, could spin you the yarn if you're so inclined. Who lives around here? Not many anymore. Hard to keep people around when everyone here's birthing Hollowborn. But we got a few who stick around and do business. Treegill's the leather courier. Hendina crafts potions, and Winfrith trades in general goods. Rumpald's a pig farmer. Or was, anyway. Tell me about Treegill. He's a courier. Treats leather and makes armor and a few other goods with it. Problem is, the smell of tallow and deer shit tends to put people off their food, and his shop's right next door. What's Hendina's story? Lady's a clever hand with potions and poultices. Got herself into trouble with a nest of worms, so I hear. Her cart's on the east end of town. And Winfrith? Been around even longer than I have. Nice enough fellow, but never could find his way to the end of a sentence. His shop's across the square. Let's go back to my previous questions about the town. You said you don't see many travelers. Of course not. Why would they come here? We got bandits on the road and an ogre in the forest. As that yapping fool Rumbold will tell you. Worse yet, hasn't been a healthy child born here in over a year. Most kith that come here is just passing through. Alright, cool. I want to rest. Make sure you close your window if you're on the side facing Treegill's shop. Really stressing that. Alright, I'm going to go for Dragon's Lair, because that is excellent.
Nice and quiet.
Heavy, sweet perfumes emanate from the barrels. The stav joints are stained dark brown and dull purple.
Keeping quiet.
Goodness. What are you doing in the kitchen? Dangler will get you sorted out with food and drink. The Skulder head looks as old as the inn. Its leathery skin is cracked and bleached from years of exposure. Donda Valero. You see a man open the door of a house, slow with fatigue. He steps inside, unlacing his boots, rubbing his temples, wrinkle of a smile lighting his face as he moves into a generous kitchen. He calls for someone, slicing himself some bread. The house creaks gently in response. His lips purse and he pads out of the kitchen into a large room with a staircase. Chewing slowly, he takes the stairs one at a time, calling once more. No response. His body freezes for a moment as he walks into a room upstairs. Nothing on the lone bed but an abundance of faded felt toys. Moving faster, he checks each room, his calls growing more urgent. No response. Any sign of exhaustion is gone, replaced with limber panic. He checks cupboards, baths, anywhere a child might hide. Nothing. Then, a letter, next to the door he came in from, with a queer symbol on its wax seal. One he's seen before. He crumbles, shoulders shaking against the hard wall. Nobody sees him weep. Alright, Lord Herond. So how's the old big town there, Tuck? I like that that was referenced in the show. Just ever so briefly. The man wears a Dyrford-style robe, simple but elegant. His fine leather shoes look like they were made for padding around indoors, yet they're caked with mud. He yanks at a lock of hair twined around his silk-gloved finger. His fine features are etched with anxiety.
My child is out there. Do they not understand?
My lord, we're doing everything we can. Unfortunately, these villagers...
Beasts take them all. I don't care how you do it, but find her.
He jerks a few strands from his head. Your child is missing, I take it.
Yes, Lady Alice. My daughter.
He tugs at the fingertips of his gloves.
I've asked around, but nobody in this mud hole has any concerns beyond their swine. We turn my men away like beggars and seem downright pleased to be of no use. But you're not one of my soldiers. And you look like you're used to getting your hands dirty, if you don't mind my saying so.
Oh, you're not wrong, Herond. Big Town has been saved. All the super mutants and slavers from Paradise Falls are dead. Wait, like everyone in Paradise Falls? His guard leans in. My lord, a merchant. Herond raises a hand to silence the man. If you find her, he nibbles the thumb of one silk glove. Tell her I won't be upset with her. She can come back and all will be well. I just want to make sure my child is safe. Nothing in the world is more important to me. I kind of feel for this guy. He's being a dick, but, I mean, I can't say I would do any different if Chloe went missing. Let me ask you a few questions about your daughter.
Of course.
He blinks at you and licks his lips. Can you describe Lady Elise? She's a striking young woman. Bears more resemblance to her mother than to me. She has auburn hair and delicate, well-bred features. She must be, 28 or 29 now. He doesn't know how old she is. Hold on. Hold up. This guy's acting all distraught. Doesn't know his daughter's age. I have so many more additional questions for this guy. Tell me about her disappearance. We'd stopped in Dyrford for a few days. On our 4th evening here, I was making plans to continue our journey. Lady Alice was feeling unwell and went to bed. When I retired a couple hours later, I found that she had vanished. None of my men had seen her go, and no one at the inn knew where she was. Since then, my people have been combing the village, but we've yet to find a clue, and the locals have been no help. She fucking ran away. Calling it now. Why did you come to Dyrford? It was merely a stop along the way to Aina's Rest. However, she took ill shortly before our arrival, so it seemed prudent to allow her a few days to recover. What's Aina's Rest? He frowns as if about to protest, but he gives in with a sigh. Lady Alice has reached an age where it is prudent for her to marry. Given this legacy business, I can't let her fertile years slip by, nor do I want her womb to fester in the presence of so many hollowborn. Dear God. People in this world. Yeah, didn't even give him a chance to speak. Killed them all. You went to Paradise Falls and killed everyone? Isn't there like... I feel like there's something that you can do there that's pretty fun. I haven't played in so long I forgot. But absolutely fair. What's up, dog? How you doing? Oh, you know, living that dream. How you doing, Trashy? It seems there would be more potential suitors in New Hyamar or New Yarma. You think I haven't considered that? Arranging a suitable match is difficult. The best prospects for my child lay in Aina's Rest. Ina? Where's the rest of your family? Surely they wouldn't want to miss your daughter's betrothal. Lady Herond is ill-suited for travel, I'm afraid, and unfortunately Alice has few other close relatives. My sister and her husband, Alice's aunt and uncle, of course, have been visiting Edir these past months. He rubs his knuckles. And as for siblings, Alice has none. My wife has only given birth to Hollowborn, since Alice, that is. I see. Going back to your daughter. Nothing, I guess. Previous questions? Tell me about you.
I'm Lord Nestor Harrond of Defiance Bay. My family has been prominent there since imperial times. Our primary estate is on the outskirts of Brackenbury, but we have holdings in New Hyamar as well. Those went to my sister and her husband.
Killed all the slavers, playing a good run, they had to go. Save the slaves. You know what? That's fair. Can't blame you there. There's actually a slaver that appeared in my keep in this game not too long ago. I think it was last night. And I had him executed and sent someone along to free his slaves. And I'm still waiting to hear back and see how that went. I heard you arguing with the innkeeper.
A petty, small-minded man, just like the rest of them around here. I've been paying him an honest fee for board and bed, and yet he can't be bothered to stir himself to concern for my Alice.
Actually, he seemed angry at you.
People from these backwater villages take offense for sport. You have to but show up with a full coin purse, and they'll hear insult in the jingle of your step. They forget that Duke Hadret came from the privileged classes, as did all of the other earls and lords who financed the rebellion they're so proud of.
This is why I'm hoping you can help. He tugs at a lock of hair again. I should have never trusted these people around my child. She ran away, and I don't want to... This one, here we go. I've seen Lady Alice in days now, and it seems the village is dark, but helps till I may be able to learn something useful by asking around. Let's talk to everyone again. Tell me about Lord Heron's daughter. He frowns and shrugs. His lordship says she up and went missing the other day. He wipes the tankard with his ragged towel, twisting it with swift, jerking motions. I don't know any more than that. However these lording bastards handle their affairs ain't no business of mine. You look agitated. Something about this doesn't sit right with you, does it? He slams the clean tankard down on the bar. Damn right it don't. That lord saunters in here like he's cut from cleaner cloth than the rest of us, and yet... He shakes his head. Look, I don't want no trouble from you or him or anyone else. I'm just waiting for him to tire of my ale and leave, so as things can get back to normal around here. Listen, Dengler, people know me for my integrity. I swear I'll set the situation to rights. He leans in the bar and sighs. That girl, Alice, she was looking to disappear. You should have seen her watching the door like a sheep at slaughter. All the same, she didn't hardly speak to no one. Only folk I seen her talk to was Treagle. He's not holding the pigs in his frickin' back room, it's the daughter, that makes sense. He nods at the east window. His shop's by the broken tower. Bit of a hothead, that one. My advice is to let the matter drop. Like I say, it don't profit to dig around in other people's business. I understand, Dengler. Farewell. Should have hired me. I took care of my slaver problems pretty quick. Yeah, that would have been good. Whoa. The fuck was that? Nefri. The Orlin hovers by the window, peering out of it every few seconds. As you enter the room, she watches you carefully, her hand hovering over her stiletto. She cranes her head to peer behind you. Anyone follow you? Who sent you? Actually, someone told me you were responsible for heinous killings in Defiance Bay. Let me guess. Was that someone named Medrith? She draws her stiletto. It's a lie, plain and simple. I got on the wrong side of his employers, and now he's after me. But if you're here to do his dirty work, I won't make it easy on you. Relax. I just want to hear your side of the story. What story? The Dominells came after me. I just happened to rob the wrong place. How was I supposed to know they'd already claimed it? She runs her hands under her hood and through her hair. It was an honest mistake. I'm just trying to survive now. And if you spoke with Medrith, you know where he's waiting. Please, help me get out of here. Honestly, I'm taking her at her word because I frickin' hate the Dominells. Go east. Medrith's waiting for you just west of the river. She nods slowly. All right. I'm trusting you. Don't have much choice. See if you can send him the other way. That should buy me some more time. She follows the hooded figures towards the stairs, giving you a final uncertain glance as she passes through the door. Hey, Sho, how you doing? I'm doing well. Making good progress over here. Admeth Hadrit, Part 1, Rise to Power. Have I read this? I have, because I remember the part about his son. This painting depicts a forested ravine somewhere in the living lands. This painting portrays the expansive foothills below the mountains of White March. I'm doing fine. Good, good. What are you up to tonight? Orien de Medici. You see a man, eyes tight on a couple down a cobblestone road. He moves a little too obviously, a little too naturally, and his eyes never leave her mussed curls as he shadows them from building to building. The woman laughs drunkenly, hand entwined within another belonging to a sharp-nosed noble. Flawless doublet slightly too small for his generous frame. She brushes against him as they move, clearly far too intimate for her shadow's liking. His eyes narrow to angry slits as the couple slip into an opulent doorway, and the nobleman's hand slips down her dress. Her breath shortens into gasps, and she leans into him further, moaning. The spectator pauses, mouth pressed shut, veins bulging. He slides along the wall, dagger in hand, and just as the woman bites into the nobleman's doublet, he steps out. It's over in moments. He closes his eyes, dagger slipping from his blood-slicked hand, and bolts. Alrighty. Daorn. You see a tall figure pacing the edges of a carpet corner to corner, fingers twitching in irritation. The sound of battle grow ever closer, snaking its way through caves and corridors, past doors and soldiers, and the mage paces. Throwing his door open, he strides through the refurbished cave, taking scrolls from shelves and demanding potions from terrified grunts. Kicking a fallen chair from his path, he returns to his room, pacing, readying himself. As the enemy draws closer and closer, he begins casting, spell after spell, defenses, additional vigor, traps. Just as his skin hardens into metal, they stride in, swords flying and arrows buzzing. Last chance to rethink this, he says. An arrow whistles by his head in answer. He sighs, and his lips thin with effort as he begins his onslaught. There are 6 of them, but soon there are 4, and 3, and 1. The last he takes a dagger to be sure, throwing it directly into the Orlan's temple. The man topples. None get back up. The mage barks into the hallway, receiving naught but silence in response. Frustrated, he begins to dispose of the bodies. The last person standing. It's morning here, but I have nothing to do. Morning? Holy jeez, whereabouts are you? It's like, almost 11 o'clock at night over here. The glass of this window is broken, warped, knotted planks have been nailed over it. Ooh, hello. Fun staff. I mean, it's good. No one uses stabs, though.
Steady does it.
Many Faces of Barath. I have read this. This is where I learned about the life and death and life. Yep, I think it's right there. And then this one looks new. Yep, this is new. Okay. From Indonesia. Well, hello from the States. Look up into the night sky, and you'll see the moon Balafa. Ubiquitous and persistent, she remains forever in view, but also forever out of reach. What many people do not know, however, is that our world is actually orbited by 2 moons, Balafa and Calda. Balafa. Hanging low and large in the sky, Balafa travels swiftly in her race around the world. completing an orbit in about 18 days. This proximity and speed can cause extreme tide conditions in some areas, making the seas shift so quickly and rise so high that there are some beautiful coastal areas that are virtually uninhabitable for a good portion of the year. Before we learned the truth behind the cause of the tides, legend held that Andra, the goddess of the sea, was in love with the moon, and when she saw it in the sky, the tides, great waves, and violent storms that happened were her attempts to reach it. This is why the moon is formally called Sen Balafa, or Andran Balafa, the beloved, or Andra's beloved. Calda. 315 years ago, the grand empire of Valia suffered from terrible storms and terrifyingly high and low tides. Records showed the same thing was happening in the Adir Empire, and that several new Adiran colonies along the Dyrford coast were completely destroyed by storms and high tides that engulfed the settlements. At that time, during an eclipse, Glanfathan astronomers spotted something small orbiting near the edge of Balafa. After much study, they realized it was a small satellite with an extremely irregular orbit. They called it Deb, or the Black Runner. Since it is smaller than Balafa, it doesn't have much effect on the world, but when it aligns with Balafa's orbit, it wreaks havoc on the tides and weather everywhere. This happens with an erratic frequency and severity and have been dubbed lovers' tides. Calda has been rolled into the Andra myth, and when they are both in sight, her desire to reach them is increased tenfold, which is what causes the terrible weather. So it's a three-body problem. That is so interesting. Ah, I love it. Oh, missed the room.
Finished. I'll get it open. Finished.
Alright, back to this guy in the mill again. For the 20th time. Also, how's my Bailey going? 5 hours, okay.
You work for the Dukes of the Valian Republics, huh?
For as long as...
Must be nice always knowing who you're supposed to serve.
Well, there are 5 of them, but even so, knowing who is easier than knowing how.
Fair. Alright, what can you tell me about Alis Herond? He shrugs. Only that her father's men have been banging down doors and stirring up trouble looking for her. I never met her myself. That's strange. Dengler told me you two were acquainted. He watches you and smiles slowly. He doesn't miss much. What exactly did he tell you? He said she was looking for an escape. Listen, her father's dragged her out here to get hitched to some backwoods noble. She wanted an escape, all right, and I was happy to give it to her. We snuck across the river a few nights ago for some private time. Come to find out, we weren't exactly alone. An ogre, taller than Winfrith's tails, sprung out of the forest, and we were so lost in the heat of the moment, we didn't notice until it was upon us. It grabbed Alis and disappeared into the night before I could even pull my britches up. Unreal. Don't take this the wrong way, but this shop smells like an outhouse. Am I really to believe that a lord's daughter snuck into the woods with you? Tregill's hand drops to his axe. Watch it. That's the first time I've ever heard an Orlin complain about anyone's smell. Look. Just tell me what really happened. I don't repeat myself. Not for you, and not for some noble's toadies either. He wipes his dye-stained hands on his trousers and turns back to his work. I know you're lying, dude. I know it. I want to break into your room, but I'm gonna go check out that ogre first. See what happens. But if I don't find evidence there, I'm breaking into his back room. Enethil Silivar. You see a black-clad figure, bent low and moving slowly through a field. The figure holds a gleaming blade in his hand, keeping it hidden behind his back. He approaches another man who is crouched over, actions hidden by a large bush he has crawled halfway under. The figure stops moving as the man comes out from under the bush. You see that it is this man holding a handful of berries he has retrieved from a smaller bush that lies hidden in the overgrowth that surrounds it. He crawls back under the large bush, but his arms moving again as he picks the berries. The figure begins moving again, slinking toward the man. He does not stop picking, but you see his head tilt very slightly to the side. He continues to work at the bush until the figure is almost upon him. He backs out, hands full, and places the berries in the basket. Then he crouches before the basket, sorting the berries, removing leaves and any berry that doesn't look perfect. The figure comes up behind the man and raises the blade to strike. The man suddenly rocks back on his feet, spinning around to face the figure behind him. He grabs the figure's wrist and falls onto his back, planting a leg in the center of the figure's chest. The figure flies over the man and lands on his back in the dirt. The man is straddling the figure in an instant, his hands snapping out, hitting several points around the head and neck. The figure immediately falls unconscious. The man stands and retrieves the basket, collecting the berries and placing them back where they belong. Then he returns to picking. That was easy. Well, alrighty then. As much as I do want to pop that way, I gotta go talk to this guy from across the way. Oh, I want to take a minute to remind everyone that I did set up a Discord to better keep track of my schedules, because I'm not a big fan of the Twitch scheduling. So in the Discord I can at least post like an accurate calendar of roughly when I'll be on.
Hail and well met.
He picks at a long blade of grass. Found Nefer yet? I'm ready to get out of here. You know what? Yes. And I let her go. Medrith draws his blade. Don't worry. I'll catch up to her. Right after I take care of you. That's fine. I was hoping for this. Boar companion? Do I have a boar companion? Well, they didn't really stand a chance, did they? Ooh, they had a lot of money on them too. Sweet. Sell for a decent amount. By the time I put that Discord app to use again. Head over to Dyrford Crossing. Since I can't seem to... I'm hoping the ogre will be here. But also, supplicant? If ignored, -4 prestige. Jeez. Minor reputation with twin elms. Send escort. What does that mean, send escort? I can send someone... Oh, yeah, alright. Do the thing. Cool. Yeah, the only reason that I've used Discord so far is for D&D. I mean, like, I'm part of a couple random servers, but I don't ever keep up with anything. But I figured I might as well get used to it. Beetles. Beetles and mushrooms. That was an interesting combination. I eventually want to start doing like giveaways and stuff if I make it big enough. Buy like copies of the games that I'm playing or something. I mean, that's like a very, very, very far time off, but who knows? Where are you guys going? That was weird. Oh, jeez. Alright, Bailey is done. I think in the towers. 2 and 1. 2 and 0 lore bonus. General goods in the Great Hall. That is actually pretty helpful. But I need prestige. And that gives me nothing. Chapel is 4. Holy crap. Buy traps. Mechanics bonus, though. Form is where ideas and strategies are cultivated and shared. Upgrading the form will grant an intellect bonus. That's 4 as well. Might. Very important. But only security. Ooh. Also good. Oh, wait, no, I don't want prestige right now. I want security because the fight that's coming up. So let's do the hedge maze.
My look, flame and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Can't go south from there. Hi, Pop. What are you doing? Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, handsome. There you go. That's a good boy. That's a good one. Yeah, hey, sleepy man.
Mow it.
Get on!
Fiery whore of a goddess!
Ooh, hello. That's going to be helpful. +9 Ring of Deflection. Do you need it? You'd be first call. No, You wouldn't be. You would be. You have both rings of wizardry. You have... That's arguably better. You're good. You don't really need it. Yeah. Wow. Alright, cool. Alright. This is the cave. Ogre's probably in here. Time to see if that dude was lying or not.
Keeping an eye out.
Oh god. Oh dear god. Oh dear god. Okay. That's a lot. I need you to, like, go over there. Try that. No. Ooh. That's wonderful. You do that. That was quick.
Not too.
Oh gosh. I mean, you're... Go heal him. You as well. Go heal him. Of course. There we go.
Not to alarm you.
Oh gosh, Aloth. No! Too late now. It's alright. Probably take a rest. That was nuts. Got the attention of a lot more spiders than I intended to right there. That's for sure. Let's go ahead and camp. Bonus to beast, bonus to beast. You're fine, you're fine. You're fine, you're fine. Okay. Alright, now that everyone's awake again.
I'm going to guess that whatever lives here gets very, very hungry.
Skulls and bones form an assortment of kith and beasts litter the cavern. They've been crushed, scored, gnawed, and punctured by something with fangs as thick as an Amoa's finger. Oh. Hey. What's up? That looks just like the ones from, Skyrim. Korgrak. As you advance into the darkness, the ground begins to tremble. You hear plodding footfalls, growling breaths, and bone-snapping crunches. An ogre steps out of the shadows, 10 feet tall and bulging with muscle. He tears a mouthful from a hoofed, pink-fleshed limb and tosses it aside. He watches you from under the thick ridge of his brows, too well-equipped to be a villager. A bandit from the road, then. Must be. The ogre snorts and tightens his grip around a club. I've kept to myself. Killed no one but the fools reckless enough to chase me down here. Why have you come looking for me? I'm looking for a young elven noblewoman. She's gone missing. Can't believe I'm having a conversation with this thing. Korgrak's snarl reveals a row of large, stained teeth. I've done my best to avoid kith, especially the kind that might give rise to search parties. He scratches his knuckles and eyes you. She never came here. Of that, I'm sure. Then I'll look elsewhere, but first, I want to ask you something more. He glares at a spot over your shoulder, as if he expects to see someone lurking behind you. Speak. Fast. A farmer from Dyrford claims you ate his pigs. He rams a fist into the wall and roars. Then I should have eaten the blazing farmer. I underestimated the love these villagers have for their swine. So you did attack them? Even though you said you didn't? But calm down for a second. Perhaps you could tell me something else. His toothy frown deepens. What? If you've been minding your business, how did all these bones get here? He grinds his teeth with impatience. Spiders got most of them. The rest blundered in here looking for trouble. What are you doing in this cave anyway? Hiding from your kind. He scratches a tusk, glaring at you. Kith driven from their homes by strange storms. Bandits out for blood and coin. My kind is unsafe around Kith at the best of times, but now tempers run hot, and ogre blood is valued among your alchemists. His fingers flex around his club. I notice you're favoring your leg. You're weak. The ogre grimaces, baring his teeth at you. And it won't stop me from braining you and any other raider foolish enough to pursue me here. Korgrak raises his club and charges. Fuck! I really was trying to get away with that. I was like not fighting him. But here we go. I have no idea how strong this thing is going to be, so I want to kind of just go slow, pay attention. It's one. You can only target one person with that? Okay. I'll just let you do what you do best then. Good God. Do you have something to heal a single person by a lot? Doesn't seem that way. But you can give yourself lay on hands. That wasn't so bad. Don't let this guy send you to the moon. Wham! Bam! Straight to the moon. One-time scourge Dyrford, the immense trophy leaks liquid foulness in a trail everywhere it is carried, and the smell is overwhelming. Fantastic.
I'll take a look.
Eyes open.
Well, I really did want to try to avoid a fight with them. I figured like it would have been cool to have an ally. An ogre ally, but he charged me. What can you do? Could have been like 1-1. But no. Hidden Wonders. Ooh. +3 mechanics? Definitely holding on to that. Who do I give it to, though? Give it to Aloud for a minute. Thick webs ripple in the cavern breeze. Mummified remains are tangled within them. So there's just that one little passage in the back there. Oh boy. Ichimak's gonna die. Alright then. An arbalist. Get. So, what are the odds that the lady that I'm looking for is in that guy's back room? Wait, what is it? How do I get to that thing? Okay. What is that? Why are there dead dragons? What is going on over here? I guess is most likely. Yeah. That's fair.
I'm on the trail.
Ooh, a man turns to face you, wiping blood from his e-stock. His knit brows betray a moment of confusion, but as he watches you, a slow, confident smile creeps over his face. The Iron Brand does not meet many travelers this far from the road. What would they be doing out here? An elven man cocks his head at the other. Probably after that dragon egg. Same as us, boss. The dwarf curses and spits into the grass. It's a rhetorical question, you dimwit. He tightens his grip on his sword. Everyone knows the roads between the villages are crawling with brigands. They're obviously bandits, same as us. Why would you want a dragon egg? He laughs. To sell it, of course. If I wanted to eat it, I would have grabbed some pigs from that farm in Dyrford, too. What do you know about dragon eggs? They are round and large, and they come from dragons. And drakes. What else is there to know? Plenty, which is why you shouldn't go disturbing their nests. He grins. I appreciate the warning, but I think I'll take my chances. Well, alright then. Take your chances. I'm getting far too confident. Ooh. Whoa. That's a big old frickin' egg. How the hell am I supposed to bring that back to town? On the path to Dyrford.
Mow it.
There's an abandoned farm somewhere? How did I miss it? Huh. Oh, I'll keep looking, I guess. Oh, forest lurkers are easy. Not when they're surrounded by all of that, though. Holy crap. Oh. 10% chance to cast Dominate? That's cool. Holy crap. Nice. Now, you can keep using that, right? Good. Dazed enemies, or 1500 damage to enemies, period. Okay. Nice. Boots of the Long March, max endurance, and athletic. Cool. Alright, so first things first, can anyone use this? Athletic, +1 dexterity, immune to stuck. This large helm is fashioned from the head of a stag. Those who wear the helm gain some aspect of the creature whose visage they wear, for they find themselves more sure-footed and swift, and their endurance improved. Ooh. Well, I don't necessarily want him to lose his perception, but that's too good to pass up for him. And that's better for you. So, goodbye, Canis Turbid. Max endurance bonus and athletic. What does consecrated ground do again? You take a critical hit and you start giving everyone else health. So let's give that to Aloth. Oops. You can have that, and we'll give that to Aloth. Just to give him a little bit extra healing. And then you can check out this grimoire. There is a new spell. The worst one, but that's fine. Sell that. Alright, moving on. Okay, there was a corpse over here. I want to check that out. And there's also this egg. The cliff face is blackened and melted like candle wax. There's a small outcropping overhead with what appears to be a crude nest. It looks like a challenging climb. Let's hurl a grappling hook. You toss the grappling hook over the ledge, holding the attached rope with one hand. The hook lands with a satisfying clang, and you secure the line with a firm tug. Climb the rope. Oh gosh. You take another look at the cliff. There may only be space for one person at the top. Obviously Ader's going. The rope makes for a quick ascent. A deer climbs to the nest in the cliff with ease. The nest is surrounded by glowing embers. Twigs and bones litter the area. An egg the size of a small keg is nestled among the detritus. It looks heavy and awkward to carry. Secure the egg with the rope and lower it. Adir ties a rope around the egg. Adir lowers the egg with slow, steady motions. Once the prize has reached the bottom and settled into the dirt, Adir safely climbs down the cliff. Easy enough. Finally found a use for all of my frickin' grappling hooks. Had to have missed something in the cave. Here we go. Yep. Cultist robes. Oops. And look at what else there was. Hood. I think he had some money. and then a tattered note. The note is blood-stained and torn, and the edges are smudged with some kind of pigment. From the scraps that are legible, you can make out hastily written instructions. To avoid the entrance in the tower, traffic through my shop would attract the attention. Dyrford may be sympathetic to our goals, but they wouldn't approve of a temple. Yet. Key to the entrance by the river, east of town. But be careful on the road. Reports of, these days, tea. Okay, maybe I was wrong again about what is in that back room. Nope. Probably wasn't, actually. I'm betting the girl is there with a cult of some kind. Alright, check out this middle island. Zorips.
Don't even...
Zorips and beetles, oh my. Alrighty then. You stand within what looks to be a ruined shrine. The moss-covered remnant of an ancient statue lies before you. Only the broken legs and feet of the sculpture remain. Long grooves alongside it suggest that it could be moved. Near the base of the statue, you discover a skull carved into the stone. Examining the skull, it is carved into the stone in intricate relief, its mouth agape. Peering closely, you notice a rusty keyhole between its jaws. Let's try the skull-handled key, which slides easily into the socket. You turn it, and the ruined statue begins to move. The displaced pedestal reveals a dark passage descending into the earth. Crap. I don't know, but I'm guessing it's not good. Let's make camp. You still playing Fallout over there? This effigy is made of several crooked sticks tied together with rough twine. It casts an ominous flickering shadow on the wall. Oh yeah, just wandering around the wasteland. Nice, nice. I don't know if you find anything interesting. These things are cool. These are, I think they're like rewards for the people that backed this game on Kickstarter. You can write an effigy, or not an effigy, a memorial to anyone, or anything that you want to write on it. Make it known it was here that the interloper came to his end. May he rest in peace. O gods, may he please rest in peace. There once was a party thrown by him, with moonshine filled to the brim. Suspiciously uncouth, surprisingly smooth, the drink was a worthwhile whim. Here lies Skip Greenwood, as glorious as chainmail and reckless abandon are. They are no match for a barbarian with a great axe. August Keller. You know, the world isn't run by the laws written on paper, it's run by people. Some according to laws, others not. It depends on each individual how his world will be, how he makes it. This stone bears the marks of countless failed attempts to engrave a proper dedication. Some poor soul died from indecisiveness in a never-ending struggle to find the right words. Jenny, Laura, and James, turn off the game and go to bed right now. I love you, Mummy. In an uncaring, unfair world, you can either laugh or cry. I choose to laugh. I was promised unfathomable arcane might, mastery of the planes between the corners and angles, rising above this torrid, fleeting existence as an eternal god, and all I got was this lousy memorial. To wield power without understanding, humility is the greatest folly of all. Finding a worthy adventuring company to go questing with is a challenging quest in itself. It's not funny when I'm right. Last words. We remember the lessons that our dear friend taught us, that beauty is found deep inside, sometimes very, very deep, and that it's never a good idea to hug a squid, even if you really want to. It's just a giant exclamation point. Spiatolf can once again be seen roaming the desolate lands. Watch out for the spear. From the void he came, through the void he traveled, to the void he remains. Only his loyal ferret remembers. Casting spells and curses since 1990. Hey-o. Despite his claims, was not immortal. His comely young widow, age 23, has many qualifications of a good wife, and yearns to be comforted. Starglider, Master of Golems. Yeah, some of them are wicked cool. The whole concept behind it's really cool. I was told by someone watching the stream the other day that the people that I talk to whose souls get all funky, that have the yellow dialogue text, apparently they were also created by Kickstarters. But I haven't looked into verifying that or not. A father like none other to 3 sons and wife, a walking encyclopedia of knowledge and experience. We miss you here on this plane, and await to see you again when our Savior returns. I hope I can come up with something good to have engraved on my memorial. He rode hard, he drank hard. Veni vidi vomiti. Isn't that what? Love, life, vomit? I don't know. Each defeat is a victory of the objective. If the objective is not to win, but to learn, death may be the most valuable teacher of all. Alone, wandering the country, helping the weak. If you don't have anything memorable to say, will that stop it from being remembered? Glory to the defeated. This plaque has been rendered unreadable. Don't make it for mobile platform. Seriously, I have no idea what to write. Kill for her. Yearn for her. In the shadows, die for her. Prayer of the sanguine flame. I don't like these ones because I can't read. I can't scroll. A wanderer of the ancient savannah became lost in body and thought one day and never made it home. We always wonder what can be done to make a difference in this world. Well, here is what I did. The smallest of actions sometimes lead to something as big as this. Be a hero. Make a difference today. Huh. Neat. Into this dark embrace we meet the light we've sought, and from beyond the veil the world is clear. To all we've held and loved, our blood has bought eternity for us within their hearts they hold most dear. Murdered by the other members of the Replay Illuminati after selling them out for a mixture of Coke Zero, turbine points, and a signed copy of Mitt Romney's No Apology, Believe in America. A man that never was, and yet was awesome. Oh, there's more of them. Damn. It was a damn worthy cause. It's easy to make a witty cynic with a dark past. It's much harder to make a hapless, endearing rogue who's in way over their head. stay out of trouble, you have to stay away from it. Worse things happen at sea, you know. Don't know that language. Dedicated to one soul which is passed this mortal coil into another one. May he be remember, and may his next life be as his previous one. Violence is red, and so is blood. I'll crush your skull with a delicious thud. There are those that dare, and those that succeed. Kalo is never both. She excelled at being unnoticed by most, and so found it increasingly hard to make progress in what became a short life. Broke his foot in the privy and starved to death. Dumbass Dave. Adventure, enjoy, and have fun. To my love, double potassium, forever yours. He died like he lived. Fast. Oh, that one got me. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Beloved by her family, mourned by her loves, she will never be forgotten. Another language I can't read. No more shall the souls of the lost. Alright, no more shall the souls of the lost wander aimlessly. Welcome home. Never give up. To the well-organized mind, death is but the next great adventure. APWBD. Oh, crap. Alright, that wasn't that bad. Oof. Normally sea traps. That was weird. Oh, gosh. What do you... Why? Why would you do that? Are we good? Alright, we're good. Good lord. Skulls have been lashed to this wooden effigy.
Be cautious. Be constant.
Love.
Thank you.
Love.
Leave it.
I probably could go straight in there, but I'm going to go exploring the long way first. Decent pistol.
Can't move now.
Oh. Oh, I'm not even gonna bother with that yet. Maybe I will. 2 posts stand firmly in the stonework with broken ropes falling into the dark chasm of a large cavern. On the other side, there is a slight opening of where a bridge may have led. Let's inspect. The darkness below continues as far as you can see. Broken stone pillars, remnants of the missing bridge, rise from the abyss. Across the gap, you see the mouth of a tunnel. Wooden beams protrude from the stones on either side of the chasm. Despite their age, they look sturdy enough to hold a grappling hook and rope. Let's toss a grappling hook. You aim for the beams on the opposite side of the chasm and hurl your grappling hook across the gap. It snags on one of the beams, digging into the wood as you pull. With a couple firm tugs, you determine that the connection is secure. You tie the free end of the rope to one of the beams next to you. The path ends in a precipice. The remains of a ruined bridge lie on the other side of the chasm. Your rope stretches across the gap. Let's check out the rest of this place before heading that way. Someone has skinned this Orlin and strung it up its corpse. The dried flesh is tough and leathery. Holy shit. What am I doing on spells? I'm doing fine.
Yeah, place has the stains of animacy on it.
Finished.
Well, time to go into the main chamber, I guess. Blood pool. As you approach the blood pool, the vicious liquid churns and bubbles. You feel essence rising to the surface, reaching out to you, whispering. Someone should clean that up. Ugh, who would create such a vile thing? Some strange power seems to be animating the blood. I'm going to hazard a guess and say that whatever it is isn't benevolent. A bubbling cauldron of Skane's hateful seed. He may be sniveling and cowardly in his ways, but he has never lacked for focus. Sagani peers at the bubbling pool. This is the work of something foul. We should keep moving. Let's extend my soul, see what happens. Faint whispers resolve into a cacophony. I always butcher that word. The faint whispers resolve into a cacophony of voices. You imagine yourself surrounded by 100 men and women. Their naked flesh is scourged and bloody, or skinned and covered with flies. Their eyes are missing, replaced by glittering black stones. The voices cry out in unison. What's this? Another soul come to rage and burn, or merely to watch. You may be a long time in waiting. Our work today is already finished. What work? The pool itself begins to ripple with the sound of a dissonant chorus of perverse laughter that rakes at your ears. The lapping blood stirs a large metal cage, half submerged in the center of the pool, and it creaks loudly as it rocks back and forth on a rusted pulley, as if in answer to your question. Who are you? A woman's voice replies. Nobodies. Serfs and thralls and whores, used and thrown away. Almost all we had was taken from us, but what little remained, we gave here. They hover at your soul's edge, feeling you out. Our fury burned within us, unquenched and unfed. But hate can be fashioned into a weapon by those willing to pay the price. In life, we were weak, but in death, we made a choice. Choice carries power. What kind of power? A voice cackles. If you must ask, then you have never had need of revenge. They probe at the boundaries of your soul, exploring your essence. It's a shame there is nothing in you we could use. The souls sink back into the pool. Wait, let me ask more about this place. The time for questions is over, Watcher. The blood pool is still. Wild. This corpse is bent forward as if watching her life's blood trickle away.
Finished.
Blood congeals under this corpse's slashed throat.
Finished.
A crude symbol has been painted on this canvas in streaks of something that looks like blood. The man's arms are cut open from elbow to wrist.
Look.
Cryptmaster's key. Oh, well. Don't need that anymore, do I? My son. Oh, yeah, I've read this one. The guy that becomes the effigy. This cabinet is finely crafted from a deep, rich wood. However, many of its shelves are broken from years of rough use.
I'm on the trail.
Small wicker statues with black stone eyes are placed between the flickering candles. Huh.
Leave it to me! Ah, thank you.
What the fuck is that thing? They look like clowns. It's freaky and I don't like it. Oh gosh, okay. Running out of inventory space here.
Found something. Flame.
Lots of traps though, which means lots of experience. I'm cool with that.
Worth a look.
Oh, that's a big boy clown.
Light, flame, and sound. We'll keep to ourselves.
Untamed wow, +3 survival. It's neat. This elegant vase is cracked and chipped. It looks like an antique from a deer. Okay. What's over here then? Uh-oh. What did I do? Weemond. A large bull-necked man in a hood helps a young elven woman down from a glass chamber connected to a dizzying array of cables and machinery. Her skin and clothing glisten with fresh blood.
Lightheaded for the next hour or two, but that will pass. Have a meal and get some sleep when you return to town. The transfusion.
The girl sobs into the back of her hand.
The transfusion will be smoothest if you relax and rest. The implanted essence already has a hold on your mind, so fighting it will be useless. And I hope our new visitor does not complicate matters overly.
The hell's going on here?
Subversion. The black sheep cousin of justice. Or haven't you heard Lord Heron's tale of woe about a missing daughter and an impending marriage? He's sent his soldiers to scour the village while he bides his time at the Dracogen Inn. I don't expect you to understand what I'm doing. Neither the rituals of Scan nor the labors of animancy meet with much approval in polite society. But unsightliness reminds polite society that there are limits. When no one pays attention to the excesses and debaucheries of a lord, you give them something they can't look away from.
What are you talking about?
Lord Heron's been telling everyone she's his daughter. He brought her all the way out here just to avoid anyone who might know differently. She's his niece, and she's carrying his child.
Oh, fuck. He's her own flesh and blood. That's the vilest thing I've ever heard of. Why would he do that?
Heron's own wives delivered nothing but hollowborn. Now he's got no heir, and his sister's child, Elise, is reaching the age to marry. Without progeny of his own, Heron's legacy would pass to her issue. So, he found a way to continue his own noble line by putting his child in this girl, his own niece.
And animancy is part of your plan to destroy him?
This isn't just about Heron and the girl. It's about the corrupting influences of power and wealth. How people of privilege, people like Heron, are so often insulated from the consequences of their actions. The charged essence of dozens of maltreated slaves and underlings is already taking root in her mind. Once it's established, it'll drive her to murder her uncle, her aunt, and anyone foolish enough to get in her way. People won't be able to look away from Heron's sins then.
Ah, leave it to Skan to go to such lengths to avoid confrontation. How will this lord learn if he is not directly punished? Break this lord's body. Bestow on him 100 red gifts. Let him know why he must suffer. Only then do you correct the problem.
I do not wish to destroy Nestor Heron. I wish to end his entire rotten line. His name will become a curse among strangers. The deeds of his house will be eclipsed by his ruin. Foes will hear his name and shudder with pity. And any relatives who should survive him will abandon their fortunes just to rid themselves of the association. You're hot-blooded, willful, but there is no room for mercy and vengeance.
He watches you. I don't like the guy, obviously, but his entire house doesn't need to suffer for his actions, so please, don't do this.
It's already done. The essence is at work in her mind.
He nudges her forward. She only hesitates for a moment, seeming to rediscover her balance. She starts for the door, already drying her tears.
What is any of this to you? Don't tell me you pity Heron. The girl was already his slave. Soon she'll be free of him, and the world will be a better place for it.
Tuck, you been listening to this? Because I have a very gray choice to make here. I don't know what to do. What do you think, Pup? What should I do? Yeah. Honest to God, I'm at a loss. It's not her anymore. God!
Jesus' eyes, do you realize what you've done? She was going to die anyway, but at least you'll pay now, even if Herod won't.
Oh, I feel horrible for doing that, but it needed to be done. Needed to be done.
Oh, wish we'd brought a sled.
Cables snaking along the floor and across the ceiling connect to a glowing glass chamber. Thick liquid bubbles inside the tank, releasing a pungent scent. Motes of essence swirl in the mixture. Ooh. Check that out. Weeman's Notebook. The looping scribbles are difficult to read, but as you flip through the pages, you can make out several passages. Near the beginning you read, "Will be a suitable place for my experiments. There's an abundance of space, and more importantly, the locals are content to ignore it. I could probably You skip ahead several pages. Willing volunteers. The legacy has brought many grievances to the surface, and capturing the essence is primarily a matter of timing. The ritual of the effigy serves as a good template for..." You scan the middle of the book. "Died and their essence evaporated. Next time I'll have to try a smaller concentration of the reagent to..." You turn to the last page. "Noble from Defiance Bay. Results were mostly consistent across the other subjects. The challenge is always applying the method to an unwilling participant, but her situation may prove an advantage. If I can bring those memories of her uncle to the forefront, it might render her essence more susceptible to the process."
Margaret's fire cast light in dark places.
That whole situation was just fucked.
You give me any more gifts, and people will start thinking you're playing favorites.
An ornate crest decorates the sarcophagus. The name on the lid has been scratched out. Yeah, I should probably camp before I get myself killed.
Slowly now.
Finished. And what does the flame reveal? Moer Ixi.
The stained and rumpled bedroll appears to have been used recently. A crude symbol has been painted on this canvas and streaks of something that looks like blood. Oh, this area is massive. I don't know if I have the inventory space to keep going. Let's keep trying at least. Nope. It's probably...
Be constant.
Okay. That's probably the exit to the tower, I'm guessing? That crumbling tower in town?
Mow it. Mow it.
I'm not going anywhere like this.
Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Oh, so much for whatever was in that chest.
I'm not going anywhere like this.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to swing back to town because, yep, Curie. I'm gonna try to swing back to town and sell all this stuff, and then I'll come back down here and finish exploring.
I'm on the trail.
The thick hide stretched thin upon the rack looks like it came from a Stelgar. The curing and waterproofing agents slathered over it give off a heavy odor. Why are you... Effigy's eyes. Saban, stop him! He raises his axe. Rage in his eyes.
Mow it.
Leave it to me!
Lava.
The term godlike doesn't
Leave it to me!
Okay. Goodness. First things first. Where's that lady that was selling potions?
Welcome.
Yep, found the dragon egg. Helia's feathered tits. She claps her hands together, wincing at the pain. How'd you manage that? I found the nest you spoke of. Hope those worms didn't give you too much trouble. Let's see her then. She cradles the egg with her good arm. Amazing. Not a single crack. She runs her bandaged hand across the shell. She hefts the egg into the back of her wagon and rummages among her shelves. Here, take this. She drops a stack of coins and a parcel of ingredients into your hands. Everything you need to brew a good, strong pick-me-up. Should come in handy with the kind of scrapes you seem to get into. And come see me anytime you need potions or ingredients, alright? I got a special price for friends. She winks. Cool. She steps aside. Sure thing. The shelves of her cart contain jars, vials, and bundled paper packets. But these prices are just for you. Oh yeah, that is actually a very hefty discount. Alright. Nope, not that. Holy money. Now we're talking. Heck yes. Alright. Head into the inn. Whew. So much money. Oh, I can't wait to get back to Defiance Bay and buy that ring for Durance. So exciting. But first, where the hell is this guy's... Why are you resting upstairs? Alright. Fine. Where are you, you liar?
What are you doing up here? Unless... Have you news of my daughter? I've got to get her out of this wretched village.
Yeah, I found Alice.
My daughter? Is she safe?
She's dead.
That can't be. She's... What happened?
He looks back at you, his eyes suddenly fearful. You know exactly what I discovered.
I don't know what you're referring to, but I've heard enough already.
His shoulders stiffen.
Take this, and let's put this unpleasantness behind us.
My thoughts exactly. Your blow dispatches the old man more quickly than you'd like, but you're confident no one has heard you. You're also confident no one will ask too many questions when they find him dead. Fucking bastard. They may ask questions when they find him naked, but that's fine. That's his business. I'm glad that not a single one of my companions had any objections to me doing that. Nope. I want to check my journal. Yeah, abandoned farm on the path to Dyrford. I walked right by it. I must have. That's later. That's ongoing. Kide, Radric's Hold is later. Twin Elms. Twin Elms. Those two I'm not... Oh, I can actually do that one now. I think I'm gonna have to kill those guys in order to get that off of my quest log, which sucks. But I'm tired of seeing it on there. That's way later. That's ongoing. That's ongoing. Rumbled. And... that's later. Cool. So I can just finish exploring that one little area, and I'll be done here. I can head back to Defiance Bay, finish up all my little side quests, and then I'll call it a night there. So I won't be on too much longer. What was my first stop? It's down there, right? Did I just, like, completely lose my train of thought? Yeah. Oh, Rumbled. Who is the pig guy? There you are.
Gods keep you.
Hold up the ogre's head. Is this what you were looking for? He slaps his thigh and hoots. Blazes! That thing's even uglier than I thought. And look at the size of it! He squints open-mouthed into the ogre's dead eyes. He takes the head in both arms, heedless of the stinking drizzle of blood that fouls his clothes. I've got big plans for this. You wait right here. He disappears into the house and returns with the blunderbuss in his hands. I call it the Lead Spitter. It belonged to my father and served me in the Saints' War. It's old but sturdy, and it packs a real punch. Should be more useful to someone like yourself these days. He pulls a pouch from his pocket. Oh, and 600 coppers for your trouble. Honestly, keep the money, dude. Use it to rebuild your herd. He reddens again, this time with embarrassment. That's mighty thoughtful of you. It'll be another 6 months before any of these can breed anyway. He crosses his arms and looks at the piglets. Although, he takes one of the pigs and gives it a quick examination. This runt's still looking too small. I don't expect to get any good litters out of it, and I'd just as soon not have it weaken the rest of my stock. Why don't you take it? Gives me one less mouth to feed anyway. The piglet trots over to you, its pink snout wiggling. That's cool. I will absolutely equip a pig. That is fantastic. And I'll keep the dog. Fantastic. Now this, the Lead Spitter. Nine to 13. Rending. Oh, dang. Nope. Yeah, that damage is just not anywhere close to where I need it to be. Nope. Not even close. Appreciate your thought, man, but I'm good. Bound and buried. Superstitious folk near Road's End have been acting on a rumor that the hair of a dead virgin that was bound and buried alive can cure a Hollyborn. Not only has it resulted in horrific attacks against young women, but unscrupulous merchants have taken to selling bits of hair to those who don't have the stomach to perform the act themselves. Road's End local thanes have assigned agents to root out the problem, but they've had little success. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and assign Kana right to that. Make sure that doesn't keep going, because that's vile. Alright, now let's head down. finish up this area. And then we can head back to Defiance Bay. I'm going to try and stop and see if I can find the farm on the way, too. I don't get why that's... Look at the little pig following me around. It's great. Oh, man. He's a lot slower than the dog. I feel like I'm going to run away from him.
Slowly now.
Yeah, I still got a huge chunk of this area to explore. A crude symbol has been painted on this canvas in streaks of something that looks like blood. Dang, it's not. Already? Oh, I forgot the rest. I meant to rest at the end, so maybe not a great thing that I'm still going here. That one was tough. I don't understand why. Ooh. Missile Barrage. Hadrit's Rebellion. I believe I have written this. I have read this. I possibly may have skipped that one, but it's okay. It's Abner from Hey Arnold. Oh, is that the pig? Jeez, that brought back some freaking core memories, man. Range deflection. Ooh, mirrored image. That's actually really cool. And another frickin' grappling hook. Alright, first of all. Yep. And... yeah, I'm good. Yeah, it's the pig. Hilarious. Although whenever I hear Abner, I just think Abner Double Deal.
Found something.
Why are you doing nothing? Go help. Paralyzed. That'll do it. Look at him, just wandering around the battlefield. I'm glad I stopped and sold everything. There's no way I would have been able to carry all of this. Oh god.
Inconvenient.
Was it?
Light, flame, and sound. Keep to ourselves.
How many of these are there?
I'll see what I can find.
The torture rack is spattered in blood and gouged by
I'll
fingernails.
get it open. Finished.
I shall be discreet.
Alright, just this loop, I think. Dang, it's a mess. Alright. Well done, team.
Slowly now.
So many grappling hooks. A man in bloody robes lies dead upon the table. A heavy crust of blood surrounds his mouth and eyes. Poor guy. So that is a dead end. Part of me feels like I should heal or camp. Skulls have been lashed to this wooden effigy. Good God, Eater, where are you? Oh gosh. That'll work. Anyone else?
I've got it. Finished.
More grappling hooks. How much money do I have? Jesus, 38,000. That added up quick. Crude symbol, yep. Ah, okay, that just goes over there. That was a waste. Not that I need the grappling hooks. I have 30 million of them. If I get through this without looking at the map, I'll be impressed with myself. Hey. Cool. Alright, so that's that section. What was next for me to do? $12.35. I don't even necessarily need to look for the farm yet. Alright. Well. No. Yes.
Good day,
day, stranger.
Let me sell you all my stuff. $44,000 gold. Holy, well, copper, but still. Money. Money, 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 money.
Greetings.
Let me see your rooms. Dragon's Lair. Thank you.
Hail and well met.
Food and drinks, because I need to see if you have camping supplies. You do. Buy 2 from you. Thank you. Let's take a hike out of here. How much time before my next upgrade is complete? Am I even working on anything right now? I am not. Whoops. I wonder how much time I just lost. What do I got for security options? Woodland, trails. Ooh. That sounds really good, but so does the 3... Or so did the tower. No, not the towers. Yeah, it was the hedge maze. I've already done the hedge maze. So let's do the woodland trails, because those sound really good. So strange. Is Dyrford Village different than Dyrford? Grim just said that one of the thieves mentioned an abandoned farm on the path to Dyrford. I guess it could be at Stormwall. I doubt it. Or maybe Woodend. I'll stop in Woodend. I think that's where it's going to be. Because this is just that weird area that's covered in... Yeah. So, can't do that. Let's head up to Woodend. It's got to be there. Almost bedtime, pup. Look at him. Look at him go. Alright, that was where those guys were. I'm going to assume maybe up here, but I'll run up here first. Yep, that was nothing. So now just straight east. This is the only other place that it could be. North to Kainua, west to Defiance Bay. Just turn right around. Okay, I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised, but I am ah! Now I see it. What a good steely boy. Right? This is it? Yep. a bear. Alrighty. So, Grimoire. Sun-touched Mail of Huron Wrath. Alright, I'll check that out. I don't think anyone can use it, but maybe. Scroll of Whale. This ancient scroll is bound with silver thread. The broken wax seal is stamped with the shape of an eye. The scroll at first appears to be gibberish, a collection of symbols and characters with no apparent connection between them. As you study them, however, you could swear that the characters begin to move. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, they shift and crisscross and realign, and you are able to read the text. A simpleton seeks out a wise man, said to know the answer to every question. Please, says the simpleton. You have to help me. The world terrifies me. I wake each morning and I don't know why. I make choices each day and I don't know what will happen as a result. I go to sleep each night and I don't know whether it will be my last. When the simpleton finishes, he notices that the wise man is weeping. The simpleton apologizes profusely and asks the wise man what he has said to upset him. The wise man shakes his head and wipes the tears from his eyes. He answers, "Some people have all the luck." That was good. I like that. As you take the scroll, you hear a voice. You have found it. Now lose it again. High Archivist Grimda asked me to bring this back. Would you appease a dwarf or a god? You think this theft was an accident? The voice seems to shift as if the speaker were constantly changing age, race, and sex. My relics were never meant to stay in one place for long. They are meant to be lost and found. It is the search that gives a thing value. Take it to the Black Meadow, find the drake that faces east, and bury it neath its skull. I mean... yeah. I'm not gonna say no to a god. That's just not gonna happen. Especially Whale. Whale is like one of the good gods. That's a long time, though. I have to head back to Kaidnua soon anyway, so how about I go to Copper Lane first?
You know, Durance, just because you follow the goddess of fire doesn't mean you need to literally consume everything you come across.
The fire is a favor I grant to those I meet. It makes them stronger, or it ends them mercifully if not.
The remaining unemptied beer steins of the Dyrwood quake in fear.
Gods keep you.
I think it's you that has it. Yeah. Did it get more expensive? I feel like it did. Thank you. Alright. So first things first. You. You do a pretty good job of not being attacked, so I'm going to give you this as your main ring. Who needs this? Watch it be no one. Alright, cool. Someone did. And then that's already a +9. You don't need that. Worst case, it'll go to her. You already have it. You don't need it. You can take it. Nope, 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 nope. Sell, sell, sell. I'm pressing buttons. I need to stop. Slow down. Inventory. Go to aloud. Check out this grimoire. Nothing good. Sell it. Alright. Definitely not. No. Hell no. 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 Alright. No one needs that. Talk to you one more time. Cool. Still have 20,000 gold. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. And I don't think you actually have anything that I need there. Let's swing over to the Goose and Fox. I'm going to cap myself in 13 minutes. Like wherever I am in 13 minutes, I'm done.
Gods keep you.
This might take a second to go through all of the stuff I've sold this guy. Holy crap. Thank you. I just love seeing the little pig running around. I never noticed the dog, and the animal that you get in the beginning of the game is just way too distracting because it's so damn bright. Alright, now to Andra's gift. Nope. Oh, I'm nowhere near it. Jeez. Completely wrong side. Okay, I think it's this house.
How do you do?
We don't have an understanding, guy. I'm sorry for this. I will take you prisoner. I feel good about that. She nods her head, lolling. Yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm sorry. I really didn't want to kill you guys to begin with.
Steady does it.
I haven't even seen my prison. I'm curious. Doesn't seem like I can access it from here. Huh. Avery is a member of the dozens who organized a harassment campaign against patrons of the Salty Mast. Huh. I wonder what the implications of me keeping her there is going to be. I didn't realize she's a member of the dozens, and that's the group that I allied with, so I wonder if they're going to be pissed and take away their support in the battle. That'll be fun to find out. Andre's gift. There we go, Salty Mast.
Welcome.
Maya, I have taken the ringleader prisoner, and the thugs will not be bothering you anymore. Maya's brow ridges rise. That's good enough for me. Take some coppers and enjoy yourself. Her smile widens. And if you choose to have your fun here, enjoy my special discount. So, she's not baking? A knowing grin warps her blue markings. Now, just what can I do for a strapping young lad? About yourself. I totally screwed up by paying for Cyril first. But that's okay. We're here now. I still have plenty of money. That's another quest done. Let's go up here. I want to talk to this guy real quick. Is it Vincent? I've been collecting the finest equipment for over a decade, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't even have anything, like, all that good. Yeah, what she has is better. No. What she has is better. Pistols always suck. Nope. Blah, blah, blah. Anything that's worth 3,000 is probably not worth my time at this point. That's decent, but not for a neck item. That's horrible. That's not for a neck item. There's a guest book. And, okay, so you have nothing good. Let's head over here. Bounce around all over the place.
Hail,
Cyril! Let's talk about Thirstwind. Ooh, I could intimidate her. But I'm not a bad guy, so I'm just going to buy it from her. It's worth 6,000 pans. If you've got that kind of coin, I'll gladly help you spend it. Deal. Cyril goggles at the bag of coin in her hand. She looks back at you for just a second before reaching into her bodice. She holds a carved Audra medallion by a cord and gives it to you. She cradles the bag of coppers. I could be in a cottage in Brackenbury tomorrow. She looks hopefully at the medallion in your hand. I'm not going to tell you your business, but if you do mean to give that to Thirstwind, it would mean a lot to me too. I hope he finds everything he's looking for back home. She pulls a moonstone ring off of her finger. Please, take this. It's always given me an edge with people around here, but I'm done with that part of my life. And I've already paid for my time with you, by the way. It's hilarious. Of resolve. So that's really bad, but thanks for the concern, I guess. I don't even know what to say to that. Also don't need that anymore. Just proved that. What are the odds of you sneaking over here? Apparently pretty low. Alright. Load screens up the wazoo. Oof. Yeah, sleepy papa.
Hey, pig! Hey, pig! Woo-hoo, pig! Look at him with his little tail.
Alright, I'm officially Eder. Like, that's been me this entire time. Oh, great. Damn it. Oh. I like how he comments on the pets, though. That's pretty clever. He said something about the dog before, too. Am I in the wrong spot? I am. I'm curious what he would say about the cat, but...
Hail, traveler.
Fancy elf eyes you and your pack. Did you do it? Did you get the medallion from Cyril? Yes, I did. Thurstman's eyes are as wide and round as the artifact in his hands. You've given my people a gift we couldn't possibly repay. I'll do the best I can, though. He shoves a bag of coin into your hands. This is everything I have. Take it. Please. This isn't quite everything you have. It's probably going to be like 3,000. Because I think that's what he said he offered her for it. But I don't really need it. So keep it. And the shattering spear will sing of your kindness for generations to come. If you ever find yourself in Irglanfath, please honor us with your visit. Farewell. He hurries out of the inn, his fancy cloak dragging on the ground. Two quests down. A little disappointed that I basically just bought 1,000 experience. But that's okay. Oh. Bound and buried. That's, Though Kana was unable to find the source of the rumors plaguing Rhodes End and the surrounding earldom of Hellsgate, the local authorities assisted in breaking up mobs, punishing would-be murderers, and preventing more young women from being buried alive. A particularly large and violent mob at Kell Hill Cemetery required Kana to rally the local soldiers and put down the primary troublemakers. On the body of the biggest belligerent, Kana found an odd magical rope that he intended to use on a local young woman. A wizard advisor of the Erla of Hellsgate suspected that the rope had been created by the same person responsible for spreading the rumors and inciting the attacks in the first place. Interesting. But that's done now. You got 2 days and 7 hours on that, so I can definitely make my way to Black Meadow. Alright, it's going to be a little after 1 by the time I finish. Ravius arrived in Guerrera. And I forgot, I missed what that said. Ravius arrived in Guerrera and successfully freed many slaves. Word is Salmar the Shackler is quite furious. Locke finishes escorting Supplicant and returns to the stronghold. Nice. The beauty about the Haravius comment is that Salmar the Shackler is quite dead. I have killed him already. Now I don't know which dragon skull to put this under. Oh, hello. Did I miss that? Or did they grow back? God, I hope they don't grow back. I'll lose my mind. Trying to run around catching things as they grow. Can I see them on the map? I can. There's one up there. I swear there was 3, but Start with this guy. There we go. How am I supposed to do this? That can't be the right spot then, right? I think I found a jewel in there before, that's why. That was a container. So... Field mice scatter, crawling between the beast's teeth. Is there another one that I'm missing? Aha! Hello, sir. This drake skull faces east. The soil underneath is soft and moist. Bury that there scroll. As you cover the ancient scroll with the last handful of soil, the shifting voice speaks in your head once more. Well done, Watcher. Now I have to go back to her. Yeah. But I will do that tomorrow. What I will do is pop over to Kainua, because I'm going to have to travel that direction anyways. Alright, guy, I'm out for the night. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'll talk to you next time. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us, Tuck. Appreciate you, man. I will definitely catch you next time. Send lock out again, I guess. And I thought 15 minutes. Oh, you suck. Okay. Well, that is it for me as well. So thank you everyone for hanging out, watching us, and having a good time. Hopefully it was a good time for everyone. I did just create a Discord today. I'm going to keep trying to push that because it's a better way to schedule my streams than on Twitch directly, because my streams kind of happen at random times. So sign up for that if you're interested. The link's in the profile, and don't forget to follow me if you liked what you saw. And affiliates coming soon, hopefully. Actually, it is. I've done the math out. It's only going to be it's very quick. So I'm excited for that. But Steelyx and I wish all of you to have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with us.